Hello everyone, this is Krawll from the Krawll's Workshop Gaming channel. Today I'm collaborating with Flashbulb Games to bring you this beginner-friendly tutorial on the different ways to use the tank tracks. There's a little bit more to the tank tracks than there is to car wheels, for example. There's a few more things that you guys need to know in order to use them properly. We're going to be covering that today. We're going to separate this tutorial into different segments. The first segment, we're going to cover a few different changes that were made to the UI, but don't worry about it. It took me a whole 30 seconds to get used to the new UI. Then we'll be covering a few different ways that you can set up your tank tracks to make them function. And then at the end of the tutorial, we're going to be building this beast together. Looks pretty cool. I'm quite happy with it. All right, so first of all, changes to the UI. Let me hop in this thing right now. Oh, actually, I guess I hopped in this one. It doesn't matter. Let's go here. Now, let's say I grab a block. Okay, this one right here, and I go to settings. Look, it looks a little bit different than before, doesn't it? But I assure you, everything that used to be there before is still there. If I want to set up my keys for the servo to function, it's all right here. It's the same as before. There's the green side and the red side. I can set up whatever key I want. I can remove that key using that little X, the same as before. I can toggle on and off here. I can set the speed, the angle, the strength, the damping, and the delay, duration, and pause. Everything is still there, same as before. It's quite easy. I built all of these things using this new UI without any issues. Now you might notice that the decal sign is gone now, so everything is going to be in that paintbrush icon right here. You click on that, and then you have style, you have skins, and you have decals up here. Skins is only like if your block has a different skin. So there's a few weapons that have different skins, and then the tank tracks are actually going to have a different skin if you buy the DLC for them. But yeah, so style is the regular paint tool that we used to have. You have the texture here, you have the colors here, and then you can select between primary and secondary color by using these two buttons right here. And then on decals, it's the same thing. You get all of your decals here, and you get primary and secondary color. Now there's already a decal on this. I added dirt. I colored it white to simulate snow because obviously that's a snowmobile. I can reposition using this button right here. The size is right here. Rotation is over here. Flip, tiling, and then clear, and then complete. Now there's three different types of tank tracks, and I've been using all three different types. The smaller type, I decided I was going to build a snowmobile with. So there's three of it. One of them is a little bit more forward than the others. That's why you only see two, but there's three of those small tank tracks to create this snowmobile. And it's actually pretty cool. And it doesn't flip. It wants to, but it doesn't. And it's all steered by these skis in the front there. Then I built this tank here with the medium treads. By the way, this tank is going to be made available on the Steam Workshop as soon as the DLC is released so that you guys can download it and dismantle it, do whatever you want with it. But we're not going to be building this one on video today. We're going to be building the big one on video today. This one is the one we're going to build together. All right. Now let's start with the different ways that we can use these tank tracks. How do we make them work? So let's get into this little thing. As you can see right now, everything is working. I can turn, and I didn't need any kind of logic blocks. That is because I have this little block right here in the back, which is a new addition to the game. It is located right here in that wheel tab, located right here in between the hinges. All you got to do is slap that bad boy on and it works. You don't need to do anything else. It just works. Now, why would we use logic blocks if we have this block that just magically makes it work, right? If you want to be doing the quickest build possible with the least amount of block and the least amount of time possible, this is the solution for you. But if you want to be going a little bit more advanced and have a little bit more control over the power that you send to those tank tracks, then you would be using logic blocks to create that tank steering. All right, so now we're going to reuse this same build. We're going to change to the medium tracks, and now we're going to set up tank steering using logic blocks. So let's delete these tank tracks. Let's delete this block right here. Let's delete these for now, and this engine. We're just gonna reuse this. We're gonna put some engines on this thing, and we're gonna use these medium tank tracks. Now, see, because I had a seat and that seat is facing this way, when I copied this thing here, it automatically flipped for me. And if you notice in the settings, it's already on the reverse setting. The game detected, oh, I need to reverse this one, and it did it for you. So that's pretty neat. All right, so as you can see now, if I do this, I can move, but I can't turn. Now I could, if I wanted to, just slap this thing on, and now I can turn. It's that easy. But as you can see, I'm at full power. This is way too strong, right? Like, this is barely uncontrollable, but if I wanted to, I could make it more controllable using the logic blocks. So remove that. Now we're gonna be adding, I think just for the sake of simplicity, I'll add this here and this there, just so I have something to put the logic blocks on. Logics is here. We're gonna be using AND gates, but you could also use an OR gate for this. Okay, this engine is only going to power up this tank track right here, so we disconnect it from this tank track. Then we take this engine, we do the same thing, we disconnect it from the other track. So now this engine controls only the left track, this engine controls only the right track. We use this, we connect that to this one here, we connect it to this one. Fairly simple right now, right? The left engine, left track, right engine, right track. Left logic gate, left engine, right logic gate, right engine. It is that simple. From there, you're going to give your logic gate the D and the A inputs. And since I want my D to make the tank turn right, this one will need to go forward. This one will need to go in reverse. So to go forward is a positive input. So now I go back to these settings here. I want it to go forward when I press D. So the forward is going to be here. And I want it to go in reverse when I press A. So A is going to be in the red right here. Now, for now, we're going to leave the output at 1. Now that one is set up. We're going to use this one here. We go to settings. Now this one, when I press A, I want this one to go forward. So when I press A, is in the green this time. And then when I press D, I want it to go in reverse. So I'm going to put my D in the reverse position here. Again, we're going to leave the output at 1. So now I am able to turn. But as you can see, it's the same as when I use the other block. It is way too fast. So here's where the logic blocks come in. Something that you can't do with the other block, you can do with this one here. So now I'm going to select both of these, go to settings, and now I'm going to change this to 0.3 just to make a drastic change so that you guys can actually feel it. You see, now I'm not spinning uncontrollably. So now I can move forward. Oh yeah, okay. I don't. Let's use gyros for simplicity here. Let's put some gyros down. So let's go like that, and then like that, and then like that for symmetry. A strength of 6, and that should be enough. So now I can move forward. But you can see I can't turn yet while moving forward. I can turn like this, not very strong, but it's a tank. You want precision in a tank. So right now with this current setup, I can move forward. If I release the gas, I can start to turn, but we're not done yet. What's missing here is the ability to turn while moving. So we're going to need one more logic gate, just one more. That's going to control our W and S. Right now, W and S is set up in the engines. So we're going to remove W and S from the engines, and we're going to make this be controlled by a logic block. So let's remove these inputs from the engines. Now the engines are being controlled by logic blocks only. Here, another AND gate right here. This one we will connect to both engines. And this one, forward is going to be W, backwards is going to be S. And right now we're going to leave the output at max. So right now we're going to have the exact same problems. We're moving forward and we cannot turn again. So what needs to happen is the turning needs to be more powerful, stronger than the forward. So this one here, we're going to reduce this to 0.4. and we're gonna put the strength of these right here to 0.6. Let's see what that did. So I can still turn. It's still pretty strong, but you know, keep in mind when you build a vehicle like the ones that you see over there, you're adding a lot of weight. The weight is also going to change those values. Right now I'm setting it up to be comfortable with the current build that I'm currently driving, but if I was to set up these controls in one of these two builds, then I would adjust them to feel good on these builds with the weight that these builds have. Can I turn comfortably? It's way better. So this is complete control, and now because I'm using logic gates, I can make it feel exactly the way that I want, which is why using logic gates is superior to using that little block right here. I think that covers all the different methods on how to use these. Now we're gonna move on to the build footage on how I built this big thing. We're gonna go build that together, and that's gonna be the end of this tutorial. Hopefully this will have helped some of you guys. Okay, let's build a tank. You guys are gonna have to give me some leniency here. I'm going to use a little bit of creative freedom for this tank. Okay, we're gonna take the huge one, the large one this time. So we're gonna copy that and transfer it to here, flip it around. Hang on, I need to check how many blocks I want. I want the cannon to be centered, and since we're gonna be using the large cannon, which is right here, the large cannon is a 2 wide, so it needs to be an even number to make it centered perfectly. Yeah, you know what? Let's make it kind of this wide. I think one more like that, and then there you go. Now we have our even number, and the tank cannon is going to be straight down the middle. Now, because I want the tank cannon to be straight down the middle, I want to be able to build a turret from the middle or from the center of it, which means that the seat itself is going to have to be offset. And I'm going to sink it down here like that. It doesn't need to be that offset though. I think just like this would be fine. I just need some room here to put the pistons down in this area. I don't think I'm going to be using those blocks. I think we're going to save on blocks since we're going to be building a pretty big tank. I want to save on blocks as much as possible. This tank is going to be a little bit too wide. I think I'm not going to go with that wide. Yeah, I think this is the size we're going to go for. I'm going to delete that, move this over here, and just fill it up. Okay, you know what? We're going to start like that instead. It's going to be easier. I think we might be able to go one more. Like that. And then from here, I think this kind of looks good. And then from here, we're going to go one flat like this. Let's try that. Let's see what that looks like. We don't want to be going too much higher than this. The larger tanks, every picture that I see of a large tank, they're pretty flat. They look like they're pretty low to the ground. So here I'm going to be using this and just doing that. Yeah, that's already looking pretty good. Let's try this here. Like that. For now, this is what it's going to be. Yeah, we're gonna do tank steering right away, and we're gonna hide it inside here. Also, we're gonna try and build this tank without gyros. We're gonna give this tank 2 engines at least. We'll see. We might double that. We need an even number of engines for tank steering to work. If we're not gonna be using this block, we need at least 2 engines because it's 1 engine per track. We will connect this engine to this track, so it's not going to be connected to the other one. And then this one here is going to be connected to this track and not this one. And then we're going to need 2 AND gates. We're going to come here. That's an AND gate right here. We're going to put one down right there next to this engine. Actually, we're going to go to that side just because we need another one here, and it's nice to be symmetrical like that. Let's just see how this drives. Yeah, this is what I thought. Okay, because we inverted some of these tank tracks, now one of them is in reverse. It tells us which direction it's going. This one here is going the opposite direction. Oh, okay, the arrow's going. So this one is the one that's inverted. All right, let's click here and then click reverse right here. It's that easy. So now we're going forward, reverse. Perfect. We can't turn yet, but that's fine because that's what we're going to do with the AND gates. To go right, we need this tread to go positive, this tread to go negative, right? So D is going to be positive. I want this to be positive for D. So I'm going to go like this. So then I come here. This one here only connects to that one. And I want this one to go positive when I press A. So I'm going to put my A in the positive. So I go like that. Yes, now it's correct. Now this has the issue of barely being able to turn when I move forward. As you can see, I am able to turn when moving forward, but it's extremely slow. If I really want to turn, I have to stop and then turn. So what we need to do is, instead of controlling W and S from the engine directly, we're actually going to remove that. We're going to control W and S from another AND gate. We're going to put an AND gate here in the middle. This one here is going to control W and S, and it's going to control basically both engines, right? Boom, and then boom. We're going to go positive and negative. It needs to be less strong than the turning. I'm going to make the moving forward 0.6, and I'm going to leave the turning at 100%. Let's see what happens with this. So now I'm moving forward, and I can turn better. It's not as good as if I'm stationary, but I can move forward and turn now. It's a tank. It's not meant to be super maneuverable. Obviously, if I stop, I turn really fast. If I want, I can double up the engines, make this tank more powerful. I'm just going to click on this, click on this. Everything should be connected identical to the first engines. Let's try it. This works. We're going to remove this. We're going to start working on that turret. To do the turret, we're going to use the pistons, just because the pistons are going to allow us to modify the distance between the actual turret and the top of the tank here so that it doesn't rub against itself. Go with one like this. Then we're going to go and get ourselves some pistons right here. We'll get 2, just because 2 is going to be more solid than just 1. And we're going to set these. I think I'm going to reduce the speed just because the starting position is going to be 0.3. It's almost leveled. So let's go 0.4. That should be a little bit higher. Yeah, this is just a little tiny bit higher, and it's pretty much perfect. This is what we want. We want that much clearance. Actually, we're going to have to go lower than that, because when I add this on top, now it's going to be too high. Back to 0.3, actually, I think. It's too much clearance. 0.1. That might be enough. If it's not enough, we'll modify it. But for now, let's work with this. Okay, now we're going to build that turret over this. We need to be able to aim up with this thing. So, yeah. So let's go like that. I prefer like this. Maybe to help us, we're going to put this here. You want the cannon about there. And then to make that circle here, we're going to be using this right here. copy them a little bit more. It's a big cannon. I don't think I need this to be this long. I think a 3 could be enough. I just need enough clearance here to where this is able to go up and down. Now we're going to be building the outside of the turret from here. So I want this to have the ability to go up and down, so I can't put anything directly behind it, and whatever I put here can't be connecting to this. Whatever I put here on this side can't be connecting to this. If I put this like that, okay, that could work. And now from here, instead of a double, I'll just put a single like this. And then from here I go like that, right? That works. Yes, perfect. So now from here I can go like this. No, not this one, this one. And hang on. Now I could put something here on the inside as long as it doesn't connect to this. For example, if I go like that, this can move. We're more than likely gonna change that. Actually, might be able to use this. That might still work. Yeah. I think, yeah, okay, so I'm going too low and then it's rubbing on the way back up. Okay, so what I need to do is this one right here. That would be the left angle. Let's go 5. And then the right angle doesn't need to be like that. Let's go 80. Am I still hooking? No, this is perfect. I don't really like this though. Like that's not how we're gonna leave things here. We're gonna do this. So this is hooking to that. Like this and this can't connect together. So this is perfect. I think that's gonna look better. Let's try this. Now from here, I think we can, oops. I think we can safely put something here like that. Just to cover here. And then here we might just go with one of these. Actually, no, you know what? Let's go with this. Boom. I think that looks like a decent tank turret. What do you guys think? Oh, something is hooking. I can still aim up. Obviously, we don't want to be leaving the middle part open here, so we're going to be closing that up. I'm wondering, should I leave it like that? It might actually look cool. Add this right here. That could look cool. Here I wasn't sure what to do earlier, but I think if we go like that, yeah. Oh no, yeah, something's, I think, yeah, it's only when I aim it down. So you know what, this one right here, we're going 0. No more of this. Now it's not hooking up anywhere. Now tanks, they usually have an antenna. I'm pretty sure there's a lot that we could use. Like we could probably use this big antenna array if we wanted to. Like we could, it doesn't really fit with the rounded thing that I added, but this is something you could add to your tank. Here, if I want to add more protection, I can add one of these like that. Now my turret is even more protected. I think for a basic tank, this is looking pretty good. Fill it up a little bit better. That way it could take more hits. I think we'll fill that up a little bit better. I'm wondering why it's wiggling like this. Yeah, damping, let's go, whoops. Go 5. Ooh. Okay, wow. It's much slower now, but okay, so we're not gonna go 5. 5 is a little bit too much. Let's try 3. It brought back a little bit of the wiggle, but it's fine. Okay, now another thing we could do, some tanks, they have like a side cannon or something attached to that turret. We could attach a smaller gun to that turret. I think we'll do it. Ideally, it would be attached to this. So we'll remove that. That could be okay. I think that works. I could even have 2. That works. The only issue with that is I can't aim down. Maybe we try to give this just a little bit of angle. Let's go 1, not hooking. Let's try again with, we'll go 2.5. Since 3 was almost good, we'll go 2.5. That's it. And now we're gonna paint it. So we'll start by just doing that everywhere, and we'll paint it that color everywhere. Actually, maybe, whoops, maybe that color everywhere. But then we'll modify a few things. The tracks, I think, whoops, wrong button. The tracks, I think we'll go with this. Kind of like the tracks to be like that. I think everything that looks like reinforcement on the turret, actual reinforced metal, we will use that same pattern. We're gonna use this also. I want to add some of these here, not that. Let's go metal plate then. Oh, right here. Yeah, I like that. I would like to apologize for speeding up this last segment, but the video was going to be a little bit too long. So during this sped up portion, I painted the cannon tip black, and then for the cannon shaft, I used the metal plates texture. I also painted the 2 smart cannons black as well. Then I went on to add some decorations around the tank using metal brackets and metal braces to give the tracks and parts of the body the appearance of having been reinforced. And I added 2 weight blocks at the back and added brackets around them just to add more detail and give the tank a more polished look. For a basic build, I think it turned out pretty good. I could keep adding to this as long as I have complexity. Right now, I have 163 blocks. This is a low block build, but it's still a pretty cool looking large tank. All right, now while you guys are watching me destroy some of my other builds here, I'd like to mention that the snowmobile, the medium tank, and the large tank are all going to be made available on the Steam Workshop as soon as this DLC releases, which means after November 20th. This way you guys can download them, dismantle them in case you need to double check certain things after watching this video. I'd also like to thank Flashbulb Games for this opportunity to work with them in bringing you this tutorial. It's an honor for me to have been selected for this project. And before I go, I'd like to ask you guys, the viewers, what you thought of this tutorial. Did it help you in any way? And if it did, please let me know. I'm going to be reading all the comments and replying to any questions you guys might leave for me. And of course, if you like this video, please consider checking out my channel. So on that, take care guys. Bye for now.